think you bribed them to
Hello,
get the filming
everyone.
rights.
Welcome
Well,
back to Droid
bribe
Game
is a
Fan.
strong word. It
This
was
is
just a
part
little
3 of my
arrangement between
walkthrough of
friends. Nothing
Detective
worth getting upset about.
Grimoire.
I simply promised him a cut of my next movie's profits. It made sense, since he owned the area anyway. Just a favor for a favor.
So you would have owed him money.
Only a small percentage, simply out of courtesy. And not for a long time, either.
So he would have owed Remington money. So was that enough to kill him?
I heard this isn't the first time you've tried to film here.
Where? In the swamp? What are you talking about?
Okay, so
What's a famous guy like you doing in a place like this?
Quite. I'm sure you're thinking, why doesn't he send an assistant? But that's not
you
the
don't
way
have
this
one?
director
You can't
works.
afford one?
What are you doing?
I'm feeling, I'm experiencing, I'm discovering.
So you're
This
doing
area,
nothing.
The history, the atmosphere. It's the perfect setting for my next film. I'm on a scouting mission to get to know this swamp before I begin work on the latest masterpiece in a string of masterpieces.
I thought you
You're
was a
making movie
hack.
about Boggy. About the swamp creature?
Of course, he's a fascinating individual, isn't he? So mysterious.
No idea. I haven't met him yet. Is that your cameraman over there?
Yes, that's right. Bobby Burl, my faithful right-hand man. Well, faithful enough, you know.
No, I don't know.
He's an expert cameraman. Really knows his trade, of course. But he gets a bit muddled when it comes to priorities.
Like how? You mean he's lazy? He doesn't look lazy. Looks a bit scary.
Oh no, nothing of the sort. He just has a little hobby that sometimes distracts him from his work. But I wouldn't
like
want
killing
anyone
people?
else shooting for me.
Okay, what about last night?
Were you working yesterday? Here in the swamp, I mean?
Indeed I was working, very hard indeed, well into the night.
Hard work, is it? Getting to know the swamp?
You jest, but yesterday I was getting even more involved than usual, yes. Difficult to comprehend, I know.
So what kind of work were you doing?
Well, I was, unable to find my faithful cameraman last night. He had hidden
really?
himself quite completely from view.
Bobby Burl, right? Did you need him to film for you?
Always. But being a resourceful type of man, I stepped up and took on the responsibility myself. I was filming in this exact area, in fact.
You were filming? Last night? Here?
Yes, at the time of the murder, I believe. But wait, I know what you're thinking. Now, don't forget, I'm not here to shoot some experimental documentary. I have no interest in late-night surveillance footage.
Did you see anything at all? What is it you were filming?
The water. I was filming the water. It's a fascinating subject, one that has me captivated to the point where
So, you didn't see anything useful? Aside there for a minute.
Nothing useful to you, my good detective. But there are some odd sounds on the audio track. Nothing but wild animals going about their nighttime rituals, I'm sure.
Or someone being killed?
Ask the cameraman.
Okay, so I need to ask the cameraman something, so I need to make up another question. Lied to me because it was so useless. Bobby lied to me because my clues came to the swamp in the first place. Was the murderer, was nowhere to be found last night, was so useless. Okay, so he wasn't nowhere to be found last night. Okay, so Bobby was nowhere to be found last night. Told me that Vanderpeer told me that Bobby was
Vincent
nowhere to be
Vanderpeer
found.
told me that Bobby Burl was nowhere to be found last night. Simple enough. What was Mr. Burl doing last night that meant he couldn't help out his boss?
Okay, I got another challenge. Okay, let's present him some clues. That's the
I don't
film
know if
footage.
it's any use to you at all. I'll film again tonight and try to get a version without all those bizarre noises in the background.
Okay. The
You
map.
won't be getting very far discussing that with me. Try someone less important.
You are less important.
If you want an autograph, a plain sheet of paper will suffice, thank you.
No, I don't want your autograph.
Now there's a man who could handle himself.
I'm not so sure.
Well, apart from yesterday, that was just a one-off, wasn't it?
For him, I think so, yes.
Yes, enough to get him killed.
Ah, yes. The reason we're all here, of course.
Not me.
Isn't he your
Whoa,
prime suspect?
yes, you.
Well, officially, yeah, but I mean...
What an amazing creature! No one has seen him for 60 years and he still manages to get accused of murder. Incredible! He's been working with me for a number of years. A real expert, of course.
Expert of what? Killing people?
The world's premier director.
You're talking about
King
yourself.
of wit and whimsy. You met him. You're a lucky man.
Okay, so out of these two suspects, the cameraman is the most suspicious. I mean, look at him. He's big. He doesn't have an alibi for last night. Okay, so this is the film footage. Whoa, the sound. Okay, I'm back. Took a little break. I will go back to that film footage he filmed last night. Okay, so I guess I'll look at my notes. The clearing. Okay, let's look at this film footage. Footage recorded last night at the exact time of the murder. Filmed by Vincent in the clearing on the west side of the swamp near the crime scene. There is nothing to see, but clues can be heard on the audio track. Listen to them in order. Okay. Ripping. Is that Remington? Okay, that's Remington. That must be when he fell. Okay, so do I supposed to put these sounds in order? So do I piece the sounds together to make a complete audio track? Okay, so creaking, is that a door opening? Outcry. So someone opened a door, hit him. Okay, so the first is creaking. Someone opened a door. Someone hit him. A blast. I don't know what that did. Clang. Another outcry. Ripping. That must be the curtains being ripped. Okay, so in order. Someone opened a door, hit him. I don't know what the blast is. Clang. Ripping. Thud. Clank. The path fleeing through the trees and look. Okay, I did these already. Bribe Remington to get permission. Researching for location for a movie about Boggy, was unable to find. His cameraman filmed by himself last night. Filmed at the exact time of the murder. Had the film before, but wasn't given permission. He made popular fantasy films. Most of the time, has a secret, passionate hobby on the side. Okay, let's see about this challenge.
I heard from Mr. Vanderpure over there that you were nowhere to be found last night.
Didn't I say I was at the cafe?
Yeah, you did. But your director needed you for some filming, and he couldn't find you. What were you doing that was so important?
Well, let's see. After I ate, I had a walk around the swamp. I didn't have my camera, so I was free to stretch my legs for once.
Where was your camera? Don't you carry it around with you all the time?
No, not all the time.
You left it with Vanderpeer and he used it instead. It was broken and being repaired at that point. You lost it in a swamp and went to look for it? Which one?
You lost it in the swamp somewhere and went to look for it. And let's think about this one again.
Okay, so that wasn't it.
I heard from Mr. Van...
Didn't I say I was at...
Yeah, you did. But your director... What were you doing?
Well, let's see. I didn't have my...
Where was your camera?
No, not all.
Okay, so he must have left it with Vanderpeer.
You left it with Vanderpeer, and he used it instead that night.
That's right, he was looking after that camera. So I went for a late-night stroll. This place is beautiful in the evenings.
You just walked around? You didn't do anything? Didn't see anyone?
Well, I can't say that. I have various ways to pass the time, you know.
Like killing people? Vanderpeer said you had a hobby on the side. You were collecting samples of the swamp water. You got lost in the swamp and were trying to get out.
Vanderpeer said you had a hobby on the side.
Is that what he said? Well, yes, he's right. I brought 2 cameras with me when I came here. I left my video camera, yes, but I have another one. It's much smaller, and it only takes black and white photographs. You know the kind I mean?
A really old one?
Yes, I suppose so.
The new ones can take black and white photographs also.
To take some pictures of a natural environment.
So, you were having some time off to take black and white photographs? For fun?
Only one photograph. You have to be disciplined when you're not using a digital camera.
Can I see it?
Of course. I took it near the woods at the back of the swamp. It's quite an interesting shot, but the light qualities weren't perfect. Here we are. Feel free to take a look.
It's
Wait,
blanked.
What? This is a photo?
I haven't developed it yet. I only took it last night. Just brush the developing fluid over the photo to reveal the image.
Okay. Touch the photo to use the developing chemical on it. Oh, what is this? Is that Boggy? Or someone dressed up as Boggy?
What? Is that Boggy? The swamp creature just standing in the water?
It could be. Personally, I'm not convinced, but I'll let you decide for yourself.
Okay, a blurry photograph taken by Bobby shortly after the murder. It shows something that looks like Boggy in the woods at the back of the swamp. The being in the photo seems to have long legs and the rest is question mark. So I have to find more clues about this photo.
Yes, that's my photograph, taken near the woods at the north end of Boggy's Bog. Have you tried looking there?
It's okay, I guess I have to look there next.
Vincent's work, I see. I'm glad he knows how to use the camera at least.
What do you think all those noises are?
Well, judging by the time this was recorded, I'd be able to make a pretty good guess.
Well, it's Remington being killed, obviously. But who is killing him? That's the question. Okay, I got some more clues to show him. Well, one clue.
He's a talented man, that Burl. Sometimes I wonder if he'd be better off pursuing his photography full time, you know.
Okay, so I have nothing else to show him. So I guess I gotta explore the swamp a little bit longer. Oh, what is this? Boggy's Museum.
That's the logo for Boggy's Bog. So, I'm guessing this museum is an official part of the tourist attraction. I hope they don't charge an entrance fee. I don't think it's a window, but this hatch is shut at the moment. I can't see inside. This side of the museum is surrounded by blue and red flowers. It's a stepping stone path that goes past the museum and into the woods. So glad I'm wearing my best shoes today. That museum is quite a nice building, which makes it look even more out of place in a swamp. Is it being held up on wooden supports? It's bizarre.
Yeah,
There's less light back there.
it does look kind of
Those
shoddy.
trees are getting thicker and thicker. It's a stepping stone path that goes past the museum and into the woods. So glad I'm wearing my best.
Okay, look at my notes again. The path. There's a museum along the path. It looks strangely out of place, being held up on wooden supports. There's some sort of side door on the left wall of the museum, surrounded by blue and red flowers. So, has something to do with this. So I gotta go back to this area because this has blue and red flowers. So something came out of that hatch. Okay, let's go inside.
It's jammed unless I can get these brass handles out of the way. Seems like I can rotate them around, just until the gap in the middle is clear.
Okay, another touchscreen puzzle. Okay, this is a pretty easy
That
one.
top hat guy would have so struggled with this one.
Okay, what is this? Another suspect.
Let's see here. This journal belonged to the explorer, who first discovered Boggy in this swamp 60 years ago. I'd better take a look at this.
He does look like an alien.
This journal, it's full of drawings and notes all about Boggy. It seems to be the centerpiece of the entire museum.
A journal recorded 60 years ago by an explorer who first visited the swamp. The only record of Boggy existing contains notes and sketches on the appearance of the swamp creature. Boggy is shown with 3 small claws on each arm. Boggy's feet are always hidden in the water. There seems to be a page ripped from the back. Okay, so Boggy's feet is always hidden in the water. So that means it's hiding something? It's hiding the person's feet? Or is it
Models of Boggy's claws.
just a statue?
What's this? Something doesn't seem right here.
Okay.
I think I should try arranging these models into pairs. Something seems out of place.
Okay, so I gotta arrange these claws or hands in order. Okay, so this is the end of part 3. I'll see you guys in part 4. Thanks for watching.
think you bribed
Hello everyone, welcome back to Droid Game Fan. This is part 3 of my walkthrough of Detective Grimoire.
I simply promised him a cut of my next movie's profits. It made sense, since he owned the area anyway. Just a favor for a favor.
So you would have owed him money.
Only a small... Yes, that's right. Bobby Burl, my faithful right-hand man. Well, faithful enough, you know.
No, I don't know.
He's an expert cameraman. Really knows his trade, of course. But he gets a bit muddled when it comes to priorities.
Like how? You mean he's lazy? He doesn't look lazy. That's a bit scary.
Oh no, nothing of the sort. He just has a little film. I'm on a scouting mission to get to know this swamp before I begin work on the latest masterpiece in a string of masterpieces.
I thought you
You're
was a
making
hack.
movie about Boggy. About the swamp creature?
Of course. He's a fascinating individual, isn't he? So mysterious.
No idea. I haven't met him yet. Is that your cameraman over there?
All percentage, simply out of courtesy. And not for a long time, either.
So he would have owed Remington money. So was that enough to kill him?
I heard this isn't the first time you've tried to film here.
Where? In the swamp? What are you talking about?
Okay, so
What's a famous guy like you doing in a place like this?
Quite. I'm sure you're thinking, why doesn't he send an assistant? But that's not
you
the
don't
way
have
this
one?
director
You can't
works.
afford one?
What are you doing?
I'm feeling, I'm experiencing, I'm discovering.
So you're
This
doing
area,
nothing.
The history, the atmosphere. It's the perfect setting for my next